Over the past decade, I have played lots of games. I've enjoyed almost every single one that I've played, but there's only a few that I find to be my favorite of the decade. So this is it, my top 5 games of the decade, and starting off we have Friday the 13th. Now, Friday isn't my favorite game because of the killings, because of the graphics, because of all the characters, the Jasons. It's my favorite because I met a lot of awesome people while playing this game, and it's just been a really fun time just getting to know every single one of them. I've been friends with a lot of them for ever since I started playing this, ever since it came out in 2017 of May, I think, May or June, and I've just loved playing games with them now. So this game is mostly just gave me lots of friends, and yeah, the game is pretty fun itself with everything that you can do with it. Trying to escape Jason as the counselor, and then being the Jasons and just using your traps to just try to murder the poor kids. Yeah, but I really do hope that when this game gets a sequel, because I feel like it would. Hopefully it gets everything that this game didn't get, like with DLC wise, with Uber Jason and the Grendel and maybe Jason from a Manhattan stage. That would have been really cool. But still, it's one of my favorite games, and this is my number 5. And then, so going on to number 4, we are going to be going to Stardew Valley. Now, Stardew Valley was a pretty interesting game. I really love it. The soundtrack is amazing. Uh, the townsfolk are all just wonderful people. Just like just getting to know all of them all through friendship over the course of the couple years it probably would take for you to get to know everybody, and then just all the farming you get to do. Who doesn't want to be a farmer? Who doesn't like farming simulation games? And now this is probably like the best of them all, right next to the Farming Simulator. Planting from strawberries to pumpkins, planting apple trees, getting cranberries, and then just selling it all, making a fortune, and expanding the farm. Getting pigs, cows, chickens. Chickens are one of my favorite things in this game. That's why I love it. Chickens are very important in a video game, I think, because why not? Going into the caverns and just fighting off different types of monsters, going mining and getting all different types of artifacts that you can just sell and donate to the local museum, and then the community center, the lovely community center where you get to help bring this community back into place, make it wonderful. Or you can just go over to JoJo instead and then just pay them money to fix up the place. Number 3 is We Were Here Together. And I just love the We Were Here series, the puzzles, the story. Like, when I first played this with Moon, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. Just exploring the little ruins that you go through, the little castle in this game, and then just solving all the very difficult and frustrating puzzles that you have to deal with. Not all of them are difficult. I mean, I'm not very good at puzzles, but yeah, it's pretty good. I just hope that they do make a 4th game, because it would be fantastic to go through this again, but with another more brand new puzzles. And then coming in at number 2, we have The Walking Dead. Now, The Walking Dead is by far an amazing game. The series that Telltale did, where you just start off as a guy going off to jail and Lee, and then you meet this little girl Clementine. You just don't know where this is going to go. You just realize that you have to protect her. You want to protect her no matter what. But as you go through the story, you meet dozens of interesting characters, and then slowly over time you just slowly losing them. Now the soundtrack is another thing that I also like about this game, but the story is really where it's at for me. And just going through all 4 of the games, you just slowly watch Clem go from this little girl into a young woman who just basically gets put into the same situation that you start off in. Now the ending for the first game is probably the most saddening, because you're just sitting there watching Lee just slowly die away, and there's just nothing you can do. You can't prevent this, and you just know that Clem is about to lose. She just lost her parents, she lost Lee, she lost everybody dear to her, and it has made me cry almost every single time. I know that sounds bad, but that just proves on how much I care about the characters. And I do wish that if they ever do something like this again, that the choices, I can probably save everybody. I would like to save Lee and see where that would have gone. Save Carly and Doug and everybody else who died in this series. Yeah. So going on to number 1 is probably the best game of the decade, and overall is Skyrim. Skyrim is the best game that has just ever existed. Just all the different like ways you can play this. You can be a mage, you can be a warrior, you can be an assassin, a thief, you can join all these different guilds. There's only like 4 of them, but still. Just joining them and just meeting all the hundreds of characters and going to war and fighting Imperial soldiers or the rebellion Stormcloak, and then just exploring the towns with all the people, just sitting around, just listening to the music that they play. And I love that, like, this game has just kept me going for years on end. As soon as I bought this game, I played it every day that I could, like for almost like 6 to 8 hours a day, from like 2012 till almost now. Really, I don't play it as much now because I play a lot of other games still, but I still play this at least a couple hours a day. But yeah, I just hope that when this game gets its next sequel, Elder Scrolls 6, that I can play this for another whole decade, and I'll still enjoy it every time. Some of the things I like about this game is just the graphics. They're just so, I don't know why, I just love the way that it looks, and the feel of the game, and just how calming it can be. Just walking around, listening to the soothing sound of the nature and the music as you just explore towns, the nature, or even the ruins when you're not having to fight to the death with Draugr or bandits. Now, one thing I would like for this game is more factions, I think, or like more story and quests that you could do. You know, what we get is fine. You have about almost 8 to 10 hours of story quests, and then each of the guilds, you get like 6 to 8 hours of quest line, depending on how fast you are, but that's a lot of time it'll take you just to beat the game for your first playthrough. As soon as you play it once, you just want to keep playing it. You want to keep exploring, you want to do other playthroughs, you want to like really get deep into it. You want to be a sneaky assassin archer or a warrior mage who can just summon a battle axe or a sword or bow from the ethereal planes. It's just so great. So down below, tell me what you guys think about your 5 favorite games. And I hope you all have had a wonderful New Year's, and I hope that this next decade brings us a lot more games to play.